The holidays are a time for family, food, and fun, but all that good cheer, especially if you're really piling it on, can lead to painful heartburn and indigestion. So here to give you some surefire, see what we did there, ways to avoid the burn is Dr. Navdeep Chehl, a gastroenterologist with Austin Gastroenterology. Good morning.
Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for being here because I'll be honest, I think most people start to deal with something like this, especially at a certain age when we get around the holidays. We're so excited about the holiday food.
Absolutely.
But then it can start to come for you just a little bit. Okay, so let's talk about how heartburn develops and what actually are symptoms of heartburn.
Yeah, so heartburn is a burning sensation in your chest that develops after eating. It can be associated with a variety of GI disorders. Excuse me, the most common being gastroesophageal reflux disease, otherwise known as acid reflux, which we'll focus on today. So acid reflux is very common in the U.S. About 20% of the population experience symptoms on a weekly basis.
That's a big number.
Yeah, absolutely. And in addition to heartburn, you also have to think about regurgitation of food or drink after eating. Other less common symptoms include burping, nausea, even hiccups, or feeling like food or drink is getting stuck after swallowing.
Yeah.
So why does this happen? Well, that's actually quite complex, but to break it down, one of the mechanisms is there's a muscle in the lower esophagus that prevents acidic juices from refluxing back from the stomach into the esophagus. And when that muscle is weak or relaxes more often, that's when the juices can get up into the esophagus, cause injury, and that's when you feel symptoms. So some, and in addition, some people have structural abnormalities that predispose them to more reflux, and other people are just more sensitive to those juices. So.
And some people are eating the spiciest foods they can get their hands on, like my brothers do.
Like myself.
So that can be something that complicates it. But speaking of, what are some of the, the foods that you find to be the biggest culprits, things that would lead to more issues?
Yeah, so as we eat and drink our way through the holiday season, some things to keep an eye on are fatty foods, spicy foods, tomatoes, tomato-based products like sauces, onions, chocolate, peppermint.
Hang on. You're
putting
a lot of things that I really like.
Did I mention soda and of course alcohol?
Yeah.
So all the things that we like to consume when we get together with family and friends over the holidays.
Okay, all right. It sounds like you need to be a little bit more careful about it. So how can we avoid the burn? How can we stop this from happening?
Yeah, so the first thing is to just moderate your intake of all those items that I mentioned. Other general measures include controlling your body weight and avoidance of smoking. But let's be honest, like you mentioned, we all like to indulge over the holidays especially. So there's certain things that you can do to kind of prevent or lessen symptoms. And one of the major things that I tell patients is after you eat, before you lay down for a nap or go to sleep, allow 2 to 3 hours. Okay.
Oh.
Sleeping on your left side has been shown to help prevent reflux symptoms as well. Don't overeat. Those are some of the general things that everybody can do no matter what you're eating. The other thing I want to mention is if you are on medication for reflux, it's really important over the holiday season to take that medication as prescribed by your physician. So 30 to 45 minutes before a meal, either once or twice a day, is recommended by your physician. But what about those people that are taking the medication, they're eating, they're drinking, they're hanging out with family and friends, they're still feeling symptoms? Or what about the people that don't normally feel reflux symptoms, heartburn, and they're getting symptoms for the first time? Well, for those patients, you can start what's called as-needed therapy. And the two medications that I recommend for that are over-the-counter medications, Gaviscon and Pepcid, and you can take those as needed and just before bedtime, and they really help. Now, there's another class of medications that I want to mention, proton pump inhibitors, things like Nexium, Prilosec, Prevacid, also available over-the-counter. Those aren't really appropriate for just as-needed therapy.
Okay.
More appropriate for regular, everyday use, so keep that in mind.
Wow, okay, a lot of information here and very useful, super timely as well. I think everybody just added at least 2 items to their grocery list for the next time they stop by the store. Doctor, thank you so much. Great tips this morning.
Thank you.
Austin Gastroenterology has 17 clinics and 2 endoscopy centers in the greater Austin area. For more information, visit them online, austingastro.com.